Hey, welcome to the How to Bank 100 Grand video segment here. I want to talk to you about how do you put away $100,000. My name is Joe Munoz. Some of you know me, some of you don't know me. If you don't know me, you're running into me for the very first time. I'm an airline pilot. I'm a flight school founder, a longtime entrepreneur. I'm going to talk to you all about some businesses I had that I closed down and where I'm at now and all this good stuff. But look, the main thing in this video that I want to talk to you about is, man, how do you bank your first $100,000? How do you put away your first 100 grand? Okay, so let's talk about this. First $100,000. How do you put away your first $100,000? So the first thing you need to do is make a decision. Okay, you need to decide. Okay, number one, I'm going to put this here. You need to decide. Decide. Do you want to do this? Do you really want to put away? First of all, do you really want to make some money? Do you want to get some money? That's really the question. Now, I can tell you, yes, I want to make money. And the reason I want to make money is why? Because I've seen what lack of money does. Let me tell you what lack of money does. It rips apart marriages. It rips apart healthy relationships. Relationships that would have otherwise flourished and been great because of money issues, it rips them apart. It forces you to move against your will across the country on your junior year of high school when you don't want to. That was my case, by the way. And so this information, look, there's no lack of money out there. There is a lack of people like me trying to get out there and go get the money. But there is no lack of money. And so the question that I have for you right now is, look, you need to make a decision. Do you really want to go out and do you want to get not just 100 grand? Do you want to get more than this? I can tell you how to get $100,000. I've done it myself. I've done it more than once, multiple times. I'm going to talk to you all about it here. The second question I have for you, though, is once you make a decision here, my second question to you is, are you willing to do whatever it takes? Okay? When you think about, Joe, how do you, the other day, right? I was talking to somebody, and I talked about one of my investments that I have in a real estate deal, and I have $125,000 invested. But where do you get the money from? And that's really what spawned this video for me. Where do you get the 100 grand from? Well, look, how do I get it? I first made a decision. I decided, do I want to do this thing or not? And I decided yes. Why? Because the effects of not having money far outweighed anything that I was going to go through to go and get this money. Number two, am I willing to do whatever it takes? Absolutely I am. And if you are too, by the way, that's why I wear it on this wristband. On a mission, whatever it takes. If you want the wristband, go to munozmission.com/store. You can get it for free. I want to send it to you. Okay, so look, make a decision and then also ask yourself, are you willing to do whatever it takes? If you can answer, yes, I want to do this, and yes, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, I promise you, you will be able to rack up your first 100 grand. In fact, you're going to be able to do this numerous times. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. Okay, so check it out. How do you bank your first 100 grand? You have to run your household like a business. Why? Because it is a business. Do you understand, man? Brother Jay-Z said it best in one of his songs where he said, I'm not a businessman. I am a businessman. Do you see the difference in that? Do you see the significance of this phrase? So again, how do you bank your first 100 grand? You run your house like a business. A business has accounts receivable and accounts payable. In other words, what does this mean? Accounts receivable and accounts payable. All it means is money coming in and money flowing out. Does your house have money coming in and money flowing out? Yeah. Does a business have money flowing in and money flowing out? Absolutely. So what you want to do is you need to track this, man. The first step to actually is by now it's the third, right? Remember, first you need to make a decision. Second, you need to ask yourself, am I willing to do whatever it takes? And the third thing is you need to start running your house like a business. How do I do that? I start looking at accounts receivable and accounts payable. I start understanding, okay, how much, this is basically doing a cash flow analysis, by the way. This is doing a financial statement. Okay, so what you're doing is you're now looking at what flows come in, right? And then what flows come out. What flows come out over here. Now, I'll be honest with you, most households, what happens with them is they have one, maybe two flows coming in, and they have 20 flows going out. So let's say you're a married person, you've got two flows coming in, and both your spouse works, right? So you got two incomes, and then guess what you have? You have a mortgage payment, you have a car payment, you got the water, you got the electric, you got utilities, you got groceries, you got gas, you got this, you got that, you got the kids' ballet, you got all kinds of stuff. And you got two flows of income. Okay, that's okay. Okay, well, I'm still going to show you how to do this. It's still very possible. So the first thing you need to do is understand, well, how much money is coming in right now? Okay, so let's just use round numbers. The average salary in the U.S. is around $50,000. So let's say both of you are making 50 grand, 50,000 for the husband, 50,000 for the wife. Okay, or husband, wife, whatever you guys are doing. Okay, both partners here are making 50 grand. So you got a total of $100,000. Okay, the next thing is, we'll say this is net. Okay, so it's 50 grand net. So this is actually what your paycheck amounts to at the end of the year. What expenses do you have coming out? And you need to tally all this stuff up. What expenses do you have coming out? And at the end, hopefully what we find is that we have a margin, okay, a good margin, which is basically the difference, right, the disparity between total income and total expenses. So if my total income is $100,000 here, and let's say hopefully your total expenses here are, ideally it would be no more than 60,000, but let's say it's like 75 grand. Okay, what's the difference here? If you subtract both of these, obviously we're left with $25,000. So what you want to do now is take these $25,000 and obviously we're going to park it in a separate account. You see, what most people do is they find somewhere stupid to put this money. They find a vacation to go on that they shouldn't be going on. They find a new car or a new boat to buy or something to this effect. I personally know people that are making upwards of $600,000, $700,000, and $800,000 and they're broke. Do you understand what that means? That means that what that means is that their income, okay, when you look at their financial statement, they have $800,000 plus coming in. And so this is money coming in, right? And then their expenses, they have expense after expense after expense after expense. Why? Because they decided to go out and buy a 70-foot boat. They decided to go out and buy the Ferrari or buy the Porsche or whatever it is they wanted to go get, right? And then they bought, the watches and the rings that are expensive. You guys see me out here, I'm running around with a $5 watch, a little $2 silicone band. Why? Because I'm not trying to flash, man. So many people are trying to show off. What you should be doing is showing up. You want to bank $100,000? Stop showing off and start showing up so that you can put away some dough, man. Okay, that's why I'm out here with all this rubber, ring and rubber watch. I don't need to show anything off. I'm showing up so that I can have enough income, little expenses, take the extra cash, park it aside, and then later on invest it into something that appreciates cash flows every month, and you just repeat the process over and over again. Okay, so look, check it out. Accounts receivable and accounts payable. You're running your house like a business. Look, businesses look to take income. If this is your income, let's say it's $100,000. Okay? And then you have your expenses. Let's say your expenses here are $75,000. You see this difference here, this disparity? This is the cash that you open a separate storage account. You take this dough and you park it over here. Now, ideally, what we want to do is separate the lines, right? So really what we want to do is take this 75 grand, we want to bring it as low as we can. So how do you do this? You get very conscious and very aware of your expenses. You write down literally, this is what I spend my money on. I did this month. I went out to eat this many times. I went out to happy hour. I had to get gas. Spent this on groceries. This is what my water bill was. You look at all your expenses. This is what a company does. This is what a business does. Who's a business? You are. You need to be tracking this. Okay, so what you do is you take this number and ideally we bring it down. So let's say there's got to be something you can cut, by the way. And I'm not going to focus a ton of attention here. Why? Because there's only so low I can go. There's only so low you can cut expenses because look, I cannot be without a phone, right? I don't know where my phone's at. I can't be without a phone. I need a phone. I need a car. I need to stay mobile, right? So there's certain things that you need, right? You need Wi-Fi in your house because you're doing your business at the house or whatever it is that you're doing. You need groceries. You got to eat something. Okay? So there's only so low that you can cut it. And so really what you want to do now is once you get it as low as you can, let's say from 75, you can bring it down to $60,000. The next thing you're going to do is look to increase income. The next question becomes, how do you make more money? How do you make more money, man? What you want to do is invest in yourself. Invest in yourself to make yourself more valuable in the marketplace. Dude, let me tell you something. If you are a housekeeper, okay, if you're a housekeeper, what is your job? Your job is to sweep floors, to wash dishes, it's to dust, it's to do things that anybody really with two hands can do. And therefore your compensation is going to reflect that. Okay, if you are a professional barber, or maybe you cut hair, or maybe you do what I do, you fly planes, or what my sister does, you do makeup. How many people can fly an airplane? How many people can do makeup? How many people can be a nurse, right? There are less nurses than there are housekeepers, and therefore the nursing career is going to pay you more, right? So obviously now what that does is it puts you in a position to earn more money. You got to earn more money, folks. This is the bottom line. How do you earn more money? You get a specialized skill set that pays more. Or maybe you're watching this thinking, man, I don't want to do that. Okay, fine. So what you need to do then is identify a sales position. By the way, I'd be doing this too anyways. I'm not good at sales. Well, you need to revisit your questions. You need to make a decision. Do I want to bank 100 grand? Yes. Number 2, are you willing to do whatever it takes? If you answered yes, that you are, okay, you need to now start to think to yourself, man, is this a true thing that I'm really telling myself? Because a sales position, the beauty of sales is that it's infinite. And if you're thinking, oh, I'm not a salesperson, you're wrong. You are an influencer. You do need to influence people. You got to influence your parents or your significant other or your kids, right? In fact, think about this for a second. Hey, why don't you, instead of coming to spend the weekend with me, let's get married and you spend the rest of your life with me. You don't think that takes some influence? You got to sell that person on that? So everybody on planet Earth is a salesperson. As long as you are interacting with another human being, you are selling. So look, the sales game is like this. You can sell something online, you can sell something as at a part-time job or whatever. But if you have one job, one flow is a no-go. You need to look for more flows. Okay, and how do you get more flows? You get money and you invest it, but apart from that, that's passive income. You could get more earned income, and you're going to start with your job. The next thing I would look to is say, what other skill sets do I have that you could monetize? Okay, even if you're a drummer like me, man, get your drum set out on the streets and play, dude, and collect some money for it. Okay, so what other skill sets do you have right now that you can monetize? You need to monetize your skill sets. I don't know what you're good at, man. I know you do, though. You need to figure out, what is it that I'm good at? What am I passionate about? What do I like doing? How do I make some money off it? Number 3, you need to identify a sales position. These are flows, man. This is flows of income. Look, one flow is a no-go. Listen to what I am telling you. One flow is a no-go. Everything that you've heard about go to school, get a good job, save for retirement, and maybe one day at 65, after you've traded 40 years of prime life, you get your 15 years of elderly freedom. It's stupid, dude. It doesn't make sense. And it's a bad trade-off. Okay, so you need more flows of income. So the first one is your job. The second one is a skill set that you have that you're going to look to monetize. So my sister she does makeup. Okay, so now she's doing makeup. Maybe you bake cakes, man, or you could cut hair, or you play drums, or whatever, dude. Like, you need to find what it is you're good at and monetize that. The third thing I would look to do is get a sales position. Well, Joe, I'm not into sales. Dude, everybody's into sales. If you're a human being talking to another human being, you are selling your thoughts and ideas to them. Sales has a bad connotation. Let's call it influence. You're influencing somebody into a decision. So look for a sales position. By the way, it doesn't have to be in person. Maybe you don't like interacting with people. That's okay. Do it online, man. Sell something online. You need to open a Shopify account. You need to sell some stuff on Amazon. You need to do something. But these are ways that you can boost income right now. And if you asked yourself, remember when I said at the beginning of this, how do you bank your first $100,000? You earn up here, you focus on increasing income, reducing expenses, and how am I going to increase income? By doing one of these 4 things, if not all of them, by doing all of these 4 things. You need to decide, man, right? Remember, make a decision. Am I willing to do whatever it takes? And if you answered yes and yes, this is not going to be an issue for you. You got to get through these barriers. How bad do you want it? Let me tell you something. Financial stress will age you ahead of time. And I can tell you from experience, watching my very own family age ahead of schedule because of financial stress. So doing all these things, putting out the energy that I put out to go out into the marketplace and collect and store cash and invest and later on get cash flow is a lot easier for me than watching the burdens of financial stress eat away at people I love. And I'm sure it's the same thing for you, okay? So go back to your decision, man. Do you want to do this, and are you willing to do whatever it takes? So remember, You're going to run your household like a business. You're going to focus on income. You're going to cut expenses. Okay, getting a specialized skill set. You can sell online. Get a second job if you have to. Do you realize 80% of the U.S. lives paycheck to paycheck? And there's more than $1 trillion of credit card debt in the U.S. And it's not on the news, dude. Nobody finds that crazy. I just find that to be insane. So, look. How do you bank your first 100, man? How do you bank your first 100? Again, I can tell you how to do it. I've done it multiple times. Done it more than once. It will take commitment. It will require you to make a decision. And there's two things really that you're trying to ask yourself. One, decide, do I want to do this? Now, I decided yes. Why? Because I saw that not having money can cause people to age faster. It can cause relationships and marriages to break apart. It can cause you to have to move across the country third year of high school because your flows of income have been lost. It can cause you to not have the options available to you that could help your life. It's not because you're going after money for happiness, man. I'm not going after money for happiness. I'm going after money so that I can then later on focus on my happiness. But guess what? If you're financially stressed, you can't be happy. Okay? So how do you bank your first 100? Decide. Then, are you willing to do whatever it takes? Focus on income, 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 income. The next thing you're going to do is cut expenses. Take that difference, the disparity, and what we're going to now do is move it into a storage account. I promise you, if you focus on doing this, you'll put away your first $100,000. And what you also need to do is treat yourself like a business. Okay? Treat yourself like a business because you are one and your household is a business. Accounts receivable and accounts payable. Remember that. Look, I talk all about this more in the Money Mission program. It's at MunozMission.com. Lots of different things that are being added in there right now because money isn't all of it. It's a big part of it, but it's not all of it. Okay, there's other things like mental health, motivation, physical health, communication, influence, all types of things, complete personal development that go into your ability to live a truly prosperous life with complete wealth. I'm not talking about being rich. I'm talking about being completely wealthy. You are fulfilled inside. You could have money and not feel fulfilled. You understand that? You could have some dough and you don't feel enriched, okay? So that's not what we're after. What we are after is complete wealth and total prosperity. And there's a lot of things that are going to go into that. Okay, so MunozMission.com. Look, I talk about how to do a cash flow analysis, income, expenses, debt, cash flow, distribution schedule, where to actually put the money. You need a total of a minimum of 5 bank accounts. How many bank accounts do you need? You need a minimum of 5. I can tell you I have 16. But you need at least 5. I tell you exactly what they are, MunozMission.com. Where to put the money, how you can make some more money, different ideas that I can give you for multiple flows of income. Listen to what I'm telling you, man. No one flow is a no-go. I can tell you that. Everybody needs a mental rewire on money, dude. This thing about save for retirement, save for a rainy day, and all this garbage, it's exactly that. It's people that have no money giving advice on money. Okay? And I would not be sitting here telling you how to bank your first 100 grand if I have not done it, not once, more than once. MunozMission.com. Can't wait to see you there and look forward to helping you.